China has demonstrated rapid progress in aircraft carrier technology, an achievement that brings it closer to the capabilities of the United States Navy. Recently, China showcased its newest aircraft carrier, the Fujian, capable of launching fighter jets using electromagnetic catapults, a technology previously only possessed by the U.S. Ford-class carriers. Even more impressive, the Fujian successfully launched the J-35 stealth fighter jet, something the U.S. Navy has yet to achieve. However, experts believe that while China's aircraft carrier technology is approaching U.S. levels, it still lags far behind in terms of operational experience, crew training, and the development of military doctrine to operate such a fleet effectively. China currently has 3 aircraft carriers: the Liaoning, the Shandong, and the Fujian. The Liaoning and Shandong, which are fully operational, adopt a Soviet design with a ski jump platform for launching aircraft. The Fujian, still undergoing sea trials, marks a major technological leap with its electromagnetic catapult system. This system enables the launch of a wider variety of aircraft, including the J-35 stealth fighter jet, the carrier-based J-15T, and the KJ-600 early warning and control aircraft. Videos released by Chinese state media show the ship's crew preparing the aircraft for takeoff and landing using arresting cables and tailhooks, an impressive demonstration of its capabilities. The Fujian's success demonstrates the remarkable acceleration in China's aircraft carrier technology development. In a relatively short time, China has gone from having no aircraft carriers at all to operating Soviet designs, and now has a modern carrier equipped with electromagnetic catapults. Interestingly, China jumped directly to electromagnetic catapult technology without going through the steam catapult phase used by the U.S. Nimitz-class carriers. The electromagnetic catapult system allows aircraft to be launched with a full fuel and weapons load, increasing combat effectiveness. Furthermore, the Fujian is also capable of operating early warning aircraft such as the KJ-600, which functions similarly to the US E-2D Hawkeye, enabling more complex operational coordination and longer detection ranges than helicopters or shipboard radar. However, this capability has not been fully tested. The video of the launch released was part of a controlled test, not a full-fledged operation under combat stress. According to Brian Clark, a former U.S. Navy submarine officer and defense expert at the Hudson Institute, China may have achieved a significant milestone, but the Fujian likely does not yet have the capacity to operate large-scale, sustained aircraft launches in various weather conditions, day or night, or under the stress of a combat situation. The U.S. Navy operates 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, significantly more than China's 3 conventionally powered carriers. All U.S. carriers are equipped with catapult systems, with the Nimitz-class ships using steam catapults, and the USS Gerald R. Ford, the first Ford-class carrier, using electromagnetic catapults. U.S. carriers are capable of carrying larger air wings, typically 60 to 70 aircraft, including 4th-generation fighters like the FE-18 Super Hornet, electronic warfare aircraft like the EA-18 Growler, and 5th-generation stealth jets like the F-35. Meanwhile, China's aircraft carriers rely on 4th-generation fighter jets like the J-15, with the stealthy J-35 recently tested in Fujian. The U.S.'s primary advantage lies not only in the number and technology of aircraft carriers but also in its deep operational experience. The U.S. Navy has operated aircraft carriers since the early 20th century, with combat experience spanning World War II, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, and operations in the Middle East. In contrast, China only began building its carrier fleet in the last decade, with limited operational experience, particularly in distant waters like the Western Pacific. Chinese aircraft carriers have not been tested on long-duration missions or in real-world combat conditions. According to Clark, China's biggest challenge is not building aircraft carriers, but training crews and developing the doctrine to operate them effectively. You can engineer and build something much faster than you can build a group of people to operate it, he said. The U.S. has institutional knowledge built up over generations, supported by naval schools, training centers, and sophisticated simulators. China, on the other hand, is still in the early stages of building its first generation of carrier sailors, with many senior officers still new to leadership roles. On Chinese carriers, operations such as catapult management and aircraft landing are often performed by high-ranking officers, indicating that expertise remains confined to a small group of senior personnel. In contrast, in the U.S. Navy, these tasks are handled by more junior officers and trained technicians, reflecting the depth of experience and training the U.S. possesses. China is also still experimenting with its operational doctrine, while the U.S. has had the opportunity to develop iterative innovations over decades. Furthermore, maintaining aircraft carrier readiness at sea is another challenge. The U.S. Navy has developed a global logistics system that includes supply ships, repair centers, and a well-managed maintenance cycle. China, despite its large manufacturing workforce and technically skilled personnel, is still learning how to manage wear and tear on carrier-based aircraft, and how to maintain large aircraft carriers with regular repairs and resupply at sea. These skills can only be acquired through time and experience. While the U.S. continues construction of the Ford-class aircraft carrier, which is currently behind schedule, China is completing sea trials of the Fujian. Once certified for full operation, the Fujian will join the Liaoning and Shandong, expanding China's maritime presence in the Indo-Pacific region. There are expectations that China will continue to expand its aircraft carrier fleet, supported by its vast shipbuilding capacity. However, there are significant technological challenges that China may want to overcome to support its blue water naval ambitions. All current Chinese aircraft carriers are conventionally powered, which limits their operational range without overseas refueling support. There are indications that China is developing nuclear-powered propulsion technology for future aircraft carriers, similar to U.S. carriers. China already operates nuclear-powered submarines, but all its surface vessels still use conventional power. News has emerged of a fourth aircraft carrier under construction, although it remains unclear whether it will be nuclear-powered. If China successfully builds a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, it would represent another major technological leap. However, like any new technology, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier would bring new challenges, including the need to train personnel with specialized skills to operate and maintain the system. To achieve operational capabilities comparable to those of the U.S., China will need to continue building the experience and expertise of its crews, as well as developing a robust doctrine for carrier operations in conflict scenarios.